Welcome to the Monday message. Hi, I'm Dr. Heidi Heron. That is Frankie back there. Today, I wanted to have a chat about yourself. Now, you've got two of these. You've got your big S self, and you have your small s self. So your big S self and your small s self. What are they? What's the difference? And why does it matter? To me, it matters a lot. There is just one of you, but there's two of you within one of you. There is your big S self, which is your spiritual self. This is you connected, you in all your divineness as you. And then there's your small s, and your small s is that human s with the humanness. And we need both of these. We need the big S self and we need the small s self. But sometimes the small s self actually thinks that it's running the show. So I want to help you figure out which is coming forward. Is it the big S self or the small s self? Here's how to know. The big S self knows all is good. Not big ass self. Big S self. Self. Yes, me. The big S self knows that all is good. The big S self knows that if it's not all right, it must not be the end. The big S self knows I'm safe, I'm loved, I'm cared for, I'm fine. I'm better than fine. And I'm going to continue to be better than fine. The small s self, this is where ego, fear, apprehension, anxiety, worry come from. Small s self is the one that's worried, will they like me? Will I be okay? Am I safe? Now, sometimes there's relevant reasons for that small s self to come out. If a person, for example, has a history and a background that they haven't quite addressed yet that is tumultuous, if there was abandonment, if there was fear, if there was abuse in their past and they haven't yet addressed it, cleared it, and let their little self inside know, I'm okay. Then the little self as an adult, the little s self as an adult will come out to play. And it will come out to play through those fears, through the apprehensions, through frustration and doubts, anger, depression, by acting out and rebellion, by overeating, over drinking, oversleeping, undermoving, underperforming, under-exercising. Ultimately, self-sabotage. So little s self comes to the head with self-sabotage. The big S self goes, come on, man, you're loved. You're fine. Nothing's wrong. Keep going. We've got you. I've got your back. You fall, I'll pick you up. The big S self knows that it is spirit. It is God. It is consciousness. It is. It is. I am. It is. And this part of us knows that whatever's going on is just a moment in life. Just a moment in life. But when we don't yet clean up the past stuff, and maybe it's trauma from the past like I was talking about before, it might just be self-doubt and apprehension because I think we're born as that big S self. We come into this world knowing I'm good, I'm fine, until we're taught otherwise. And then if we're taught otherwise, then we start to put up these walls and these barriers and these boundaries, and we start creating beliefs about the world and about ourselves. And that small s starts popping up going, I thought I was okay, but I'm not really sure now. I thought I was okay, but am I? Ooh, I thought I was okay, but what if they don't like me? Ooh, I thought I was okay, but that person's looking at me like that. I thought I was okay, but wow, where's their anger coming from? Okay, now that's how you handle life. You got to get angry, you got to get scared, you got to get belligerent, and that's how you live. That's not how you live. That small s self is exhausting. We need it. We need the humanness. I've got my earth suit on. I need my humanness. But I think that the parts of us that sometimes get in the driver's seat of life is the small s. And we get driven by ego, by fear, by making a splash, by being bigger, better than we need to be, by self-doubting, sabotaging ourselves, maybe even other people, putting other people down so we get boosted. You know, that's that bully-esque that comes up, where we are already magnificent. We are already beautiful. We are already that big S self. And we just need to tap in and harness that. And if there is anything from the past that brings that small s self out, address it. If there are, you notice the ego or the fear or the depression or those emotions coming up, address them. And not just address them going, you know, I'm this way because of blah, blah, blah. You know, there's so many different tools out there. The one that I use is NLP, or neuro-linguistic programming, to help myself and other people to really start to shift and transform the small s, so that we can come back to that wholeness, come back to that sense of big S self, and know whatever's going on, I'll be okay. And that doesn't mean that things are always going to be easy, but it means that things are not going to be tremendously hard. Challenging, yes. Out of your comfort zone, absolutely. It's how we grow. But when things are so hard that it brings out that little s self, then we're not safe. There's so many cool S words that go into this. Safety is paramount. And if there's any element of you that doesn't feel safe, then your big S self can't shine. But let me give you a secret. When you let your big S self shine, your little s self is taken care of. Even in the midst of turmoil and fear and apprehension and doubt, nothing can go wrong. Nothing. Nothing can go wrong when we let that big S self shine. So I invite you to do something this week. Pay attention. Pay attention which self is in the driver's seat. Is it the one that embraces and hugs and holds? Or is it the one that fears and pushes or pulls? One of them will be more your true essence of you. Come back to that one. I'm gonna guess it's the big S self. Thank you very much for joining me on this beautiful Monday message. I'll see you next time on a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday or whenever I deem it to be Monday. In the meantime, have a wonderful week and figure out those S's.